Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today we have another knife review. And this one is the Camillus Les Stroud S.K Desert, or the Camillus S.K Desert. So there isn't a lot of specs on this, so I'm going to read pretty much straight from the packaging. It's right here. Came in kind of a bubble package. But as far as the overall length, just based on the markings on the table here, looks like we have about 3¼ inch cutting surface, or about just under 3½ inch blade altogether. The overall length is about 7½ inches. So yeah, other than that, it has a 440 stainless steel carbon nitride titanium bonded 440 stainless steel. So basically the carbonitride titanium is the coating that's on the blade, which gives it more protection, and they say that it gives it a longer lasting cutting edge and whatnot. So I don't know if that's true. This is honestly my first Camillus blade. The only other Camillus blade that I'm interested in would be their bushcraft knife, which is out of 1095. So maybe I'll check that out someday. Other than that, it's non-stick drop point blade, integrated belt clip as far as features, stainless steel liner lock, and it has the Camillus lifetime warranty. The other cool thing with this knife, and that makes it kind of the Les Stroud design, is the fact that it has an integrated fire steel or fire rod in the handle. Now, when I first got this, obviously it's a folder. I was kind of taken aback by how big it is. It is kind of a chunkier knife. But that being said, it is very, very comfortable in hand. Because it has that larger handle and those thicker scales, it makes it very comfortable in hand, and I could see this being really good for somebody who has maybe arthritis, or people who just need something with a little bit more substantial grip. Some of these other knives that we have, like the Skyline, it's very thin and small, and you really can't get a good lock on it. This has tons of purchase. It has rubberized overmolded grip with like a GFN or a GRN. And then there's another rubber part in there to really lock the fingers in. So the grip on this is excellent. Definitely one of the better, more comfortable knives I've owned. And if anything, handle-wise, I'd put it really similar to the H&K. Oh man, what is that one I had? I don't know. It's an H&K with the push button. I forgot it off the top of my head, but I did a review on it, so I'll put a link up there, I believe. But either way, it's really nice for that factor. The other thing is it has really thick, nice thumb studs. That makes it very easy to open. It's actually fairly smooth. I think the washers are just cheap nylon, but it's very effective. Centering's a little off, but it's not touching, so whatever. And, a lot of these criticisms or comments about this knife really aren't that bad, because you got to always factor in the price. And for a knife that's around $15, that you get, a 3½ inch blade, a good grippy handle, and then it has an integrated fire steel in it, like that's kind of a bonus, especially if you're like looking for survival or whatnot. I like the shape of the blade. It's very nice. It has a good point, comes to a good point, so you can get in and do some finer work. Other than that, we got stainless steel liners. You do have a hole for a lanyard. As you can see, the fire steel just sits in here, and because this rubber overmold there, it just locks it into place, and it's actually in there pretty tight, so you kind of have to dig with your fingernail or something to pull it out. It has a one-way positionable pocket clip with the Camillus bayonet dagger stylized in it, and it's for right-handed tip-up carry only. So going back to the fire rod, it's maybe a quarter less than a quarter, an eighth of an inch in diameter or less. They have this notch up here, and I assume that this was meant for the fire rod. The only thing is this carbide nitrate coating really smooths out the edges, so it's really not sharp enough to even throw sparks or anything. So if you do use this, you're more than likely going to have to use part of the blade. So we'll see if we can do this here. You can, there we go. So there's that. But it does protect it from the streaking or whatever. But like I said, this notch up top is pretty much non-functional, so keep that in mind. But it does store in there. It doesn't come out no matter how hard you shake it. That sucker's not going anywhere, so that's nice that they locked it in there. All right. Other than that, let's compare it to some other knives. This is definitely a budget-friendly knife. Would be good for anyone who's going camping or just need a quick knife in an emergency kit or something, and they want it cheap. That's a good way to go. So we have the Kershaw Swerve. We have the Spyderco Polestar. We have the Cold Steel ProLite Sport. And there you have it. Line up with the handle. It's actually pretty much on par as far as blade length with the ProLite and the Polestar. Handle-wise, it's the shortest, well, shorter than Polestar or the ProLite. It's most similar to the Swerve. Looking at thickness, it does have a pretty robust and thick blade stock, which makes it probably a more durable blade than you think. The blade stock is thicker than the ProLite, and handle-wise is thicker. Blade stock is thicker than the Swerve, and handle-wise is slightly thicker. And it's about the same blade thickness, and handle-wise is thicker than the Polestar. All right, so that being said, let's check out the ugly brown glove test. Now, I just have to say a couple things. I am a huge fan of Les Stroud. Obviously, this guy goes into the woods with very little. He doesn't have some special fancy knife. He basically carries consumer level knives and tools. Usually goes in with a basic knife and a multi-tool at most. And he is the only survival expert out there to go out and film on his own. So I do look up to him. He has partnered with some other companies out there to make some, I'd say, better quality products, but at a budget rate. This will get basic jobs done, and the fact that it comes with the fire steel is just kind of an added bonus. And for $15, maybe even less, don't let that represent him as a survival expert. He's actually very remarkable. All right, so as far as grip goes, right off the bat, these rubberized lays that are laid into the handle, the polymer is slick, but that rubber just grips into this cloth in both these spots. So super grippy, comfortable to hold in hand. Those thumb studs are easy to find and large, and just it's smooth to swing that blade out. Have a ton of grip in hand. The only thing is there is no jimping up top here, but there is enough of a raise that you can kind of lock your thumb in there. Would have been slightly helpful if there was a little bit of jimping in there, but that's the only slick spot I can see with the glove if you get over that hump. Other than that, in hand, like, this thing is rock solid. So really good. So for anyone who's looking for a knife that you can get a solid grip on, I can't say enough about the grip just being rock solid. So definitely hits a home run there. And as far as open and close, easy. Can flick it open. So definitely passes the ugly brown glove test. I'd say definitely one of the best I give it 95%. Actually, I'd probably give it 98%. What? So totally passes the ugly brown glove test. Excellent job in that design. So there you have it. All I can say is, it's a little bit chunky and bigger for anything that I would carry. It is a novel idea to have the fire steel in there. And once again, if you're just looking for a knife for an emergency kit, or you're on a budget and you just need an affordable camp knife, something basic, or even for a person who's just a fan of Les Stroud, it is cool to own, some of the products that are branded by your favorite people. If you're into that and for the price, it's not a bad deal at all. So, do I recommend this? Yeah, I'd probably lean towards recommending it for the price. So, there you have it, guys. The Les Stroud SK Desert. Les Stroud SK Desert by Camillus. Thank you, guys. Check out the videos. Subscribe down below. Click that in the upper right-hand corner for more videos. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you outside. Thank you.